Morning. I did consider doing some baking for this video, but while I like to bake every now and then, I haven't really done bread before. I find it a little bit intimidating, and I think I would like to leave that kind of thing to the book. Now, unlike other books from Holopress, I don't actually know what this one is. It just caught my eye, and I knew I wanted to try more of the books in this collection. So all I have to go on really is the blurb, which says, "May the flower of eternity rest in your hands," with this wee thing, which kind of reminds me of the Scream. Okay, so we kind of match, but I wanted to show off the end papers because they're so eerie. Like, it's not unusual for like pareidolia, where like you're seeing faces and things, but like there's so many of them, and like the plausible deniability when you have that many is it just goes. So I really like that. It's really eerie. So there are 9 parts to this. I finished the first 2. I'm not sure what I think of the third. There are a lot more photos, and I like the premise of like, this is a 1-page document that we found. We can't place it, but you know, here it is. Here are some cautions. When you get to the third part, it's a lot clearer in terms of images. It feels a lot less mysterious. Of course, I haven't read any of it yet, but it just feels like an immediate change, like you're stepping out of the fog. So while I've never really been a fan of the more kind of schlocky and cheap horror films, things like Ginger Dead Man, to keep to keep on theme, I didn't go in expecting that. I think I went in with very different expectations of what this is and what it actually is, having read Vermis. I did think this was going to be another fake game, but no, it's a lore book. And yeah, I guess there isn't that much interactivity with it. Might be past this point. The point that I'm trying to get to is I wasn't expecting it to be funny and I wasn't really expecting shock. But horror and comedy do, like, they have always been kin. They've always been very close. And reading it, I can see where you would think, oh, it's a bit of bread that's come to life, and that's kind of dumb. And I think it threads that really nicely because, yeah, like, I really ought to have looked it up in the meanwhile, like Paradola. There are things that you can see in bread, and I feel like the fact that so many of these look like children, look like babies, or like with the quality of the photos kind of like an ultrasound, and then you get to the botched breadlings, I think there is something very uncanny and uneasy about that. But I also just really like the language. There was a little bit, I'm not sure where it is. So it says, so before my fields are fully barren and my mind fully chewed. And I just, like, that's a very kind of visceral image. Very evocative. And I don't know if I reacted outwardly, but like I kind of shuddered in my head, like, oh yeah, no, I don't like that. Yeah, I think it does. I think it does horror really well, or at the very least, it does atmosphere very well. So I do want to be clear that there is something really nice in all of the multimedia elements in this ingredient section, the drawings, the maps. It's the photographs that are kind of tripping me up. It has been doing a good job balancing comedy and horror, but I just think the mask is really goofy in a way that kind of sits at odds with everything else. I think as well as like a kind of found document, the doodles I can make sense of in my head. It's like, yeah, that's just something you do with your notes. Like I don't think you've got that much going on. Like the process is laborious, but it's also taking days to do things. So I could imagine just someone doodling here or there. The like getting dressed up to take photos with this mask on, that doesn't make as much sense to me. I don't know if I like this. And I think that was always going to be a question that I asked myself. That being said, as I was reading it, I really thought that this was going to be like the experience of reading it is like reading a recipe book, although it is more a spell book. But I think that takes a certain type of interest. It's not going to be for everyone. And then I got to the end, and it really took a turn there on the island. I don't want to go into anything more than that. Either this is going to interest you and you're going to give it a go, and if you do, please tell me what you thought of that. I am not opposed to what it did. I think for me, the whole, oh, is it or is it not, doesn't really work for me like this. There are ways that you can do it that are interesting. I think it's just for it to like veer off into like another kind of storytelling took me by such surprise that I think it was going to have a hard time winning me over anyway. But yeah, I don't know what I think about that. I think it would be mean, and I think it would be unfair to say that it took the turn for the sake of being weird. And I don't want to put that on the book. And there was always a mystery. We kind of opened on a mystery, like both this is the document that we found, and also, oh, I came here and I had a mentor, and the mentor isn't here. But yeah, I don't know. Good morning. I have thought about this all night, and I had another look at it, just that one section, and I still don't know what to think of it. There's certainly something in it, but the weirdness, the unsettlingness of it, I think is just too locked behind my own confusion that it's just not having the desired effect. And it's not nothing. This book is not long at all, so it is, it is a substantial part of it. And I did wonder, what do I do with that? And I think we have to give it to Goodreads for asking what I rate it. Because even despite all of that, all the confusion, all the I would give it 5 stars. I really loved it.